What's up, folks? How is it going? So, today's interview question is what are dynamic blocks in Terraform and what are the best practices? So, we'll look at dynamic block example, then it will be much more clearer. And then we can go to the theory. And you can also refer to dynamic blocks documentation on the HashiCorp page, HashiCorp website. Okay. So, let's see one example. So, here, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create AWS security group and I've given name, I've given PPC ID, and there are two index blocks. Okay, and if I have to don't use dynamic blocks if there are four ingress rules, so I will put all four ingress rules are here. Okay. From port 22 to port 22, 80, 80, right? So if there are four, there will be here it's only two. So we may not need or we may not want to use dynamic block. We can keep it here itself. But if there are like four, five such ingress rules or 10 ingress rules, then this will be too long, right? So instead of this, we can put a dynamic block which will create dynamically. So here, the example, the same one. I'm creating PPC, and after that, I'm creating security group. Name of the security group, PPC ID, and here dynamic block ingress. And I'm using for each. And the variables, all these variables that block, I can keep it in a separate file. Here I have declared under locals, uh, but I can keep it in a separate file also, so that this looks much more cleaner. And then we know that okay, we are creating multiple rules in a loop. So this is what a dynamic block does. So let's see the theory part of it now. Here we can just run Terraform plan. Terraform init I have already executed, so we can see what it is going to create. Okay, so two will be added VPC and security group. In the security group, this is the first block, CID first block, and this is the second ingress rules. Right? This is the first ingress rule, and this is the second ingress rule. Now let's go to the theory part of it. So, dynamic block is used to dynamically construct repeatable nested blocks. Dynamically construct repeatable nested blocks, and it is supported in resource, data, provider, and provisioner block. So only in these four blocks it is supported. So here we have shown the example of resource block. In the resource block, I have used resource block. I have used dynamic block. Okay. So it's supported in resource, data, provider, or provisioner block. Key features. It's act like a pod expression but generates nested block instead of complex type value. It has over a complex value and generates one nested block per element. What are the components of dynamic block? It has a label, specifies the type of block to generate. In the below example, it's dynamic block settings. In the example I have shown, its label is ingress. Then for each provides the collection of collection to iterate over. For each collection to iterate over. Iterator optional defines a temporary variable for current element. Labels list of strings used as a block label for generated block. This is also optional, and content block. Whatever the content you have, that content block. Okay, this is the content block. Iterator object attributes key and value. It has to have key value. It's a basically map key value pair. This is dynamic block example, dynamic settings. So multiple settings block it will create. Multi-level nested blocks. So here what's happening? Dynamic block. Inside dynamic block, there is one more dynamic block. So it's a nested block, like one for loop inside one more for loop. So nested for loop kind of, right? What are the best practices? Avoid overuse. Overuse can make configuration difficult to read and maintain. If we use everywhere dynamic block, but then it will be difficult to read. Sometimes if it's just a two block, for example, here maybe in guest node, I don't I can directly specify because it's only two rules. So no need to use dynamic block. Okay. But if there are like 10, 15 in this rules, definitely I will be using dynamic block. So avoid overuse. Readability is also important. Literal block. Write of nested block literally possible. Right. So here, like inline policy, we are writing here, write it down the wherever possible, actually, inline policy JSON code so that it's more readable. Clarity is important. Here I have as I said, say ingress. Instead of ingress, if I say ingress rule, it will be much better. If I say ingress rules, then it will be like clear. Ingress rules as iterator name instead of uh, like ingress rules. We can like if we variable we can mention that ingress, but that's may not be that readable. Ingress rules and block is ingress block, but we are iterating over ingress set of rules we have. Okay. So by ingress rules as the iterator name, the block becomes more descriptive and easier to understand. When to use to simplify user interface in reusable model. When hiding details improve readability and maintainability. Sometimes hiding details improve readability and maintainability. It's kind of abstraction, right? We know that multiple settings will be created, and this is like a block. We know that multiple ingress blocks will be created. So we know that this part in creating ingress. No need to go through all the like 10 ingress rules or something like that. That we can refer always in the other files. So it's creating some kind of abstraction and it increases the readability. So dynamic blocks are powerful, but should be used sparingly and modularity for modularity and clarity. Designing scenarios with complex, repeatable structure, but can lead to unnecessary complexity if overused. So let's go to the today's daily quiz, which I posted on my uh, LinkedIn page, Devops Challenge Hub. Which of the following is not a valid component of a dynamic block? Label for each module content block. So module is not a valid component. Label is valid component we have already seen. For each is also a valid component, and in content block of configuration that is repeated for each iteration of the each iteration of the for each. So label for each content, all these are valid, right? That we have seen here. Uh, Label, content, and for each. All these three are valid. Okay. So that's it for today. Hope you like this video. Please like it and share it, and follow my WhatsApp channel. I also have WhatsApp channel where I post daily quizzes and sometimes organize contests. And follow my LinkedIn page also, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And thank you for watching.